Welcome back to another conference tournament prediction video, and today we're doing the Big Sky, and this conference is definitely interesting because I think any of the top three seeds can win this conference, and I think there definitely could be some dark horses, some teams with a chance, and also what I've found is there's a lot of great names in this conference from players and a lot of high-scoring teams. So let's go ahead and get into this real quick, though. Make sure you check out our previous conference tournament prediction videos, and stay tuned next week because we are doing all 31. All 31 within the next week or so will be on the channel. So yeah, make sure you check all those out after you finish watching this one. But starting off with the 9-10 game, this conference does that thing where it's the 9 and 10 seed are so that the 1 seed's guaranteed to play the worst team. I'm not a fan of it. I just like typical 8, 9, 7, 10 because it kind of just rewards the 9 seed over the 7 and 8. So I think that's a little weird. But Weber State versus Sacramento State. I'm going to go ahead and take the 9 seed here. I think, both these teams split in the regular season. Both are very close games. But I think Weber State. Is it Weber or Weber? I don't know. I'm saying Weber. I think it's Weber State. I just think they're better. They're higher in Kempom. They're higher in Torvik. And they got a guy, Blaze Threat. I believe that's how you say his name. That is a sick name, by the way. He's averaging 20 points a game. He's been amazing for them this season. So I'll go ahead and take them to advance. Northern Arizona versus Eastern Washington. From everything that I've seen, Eastern Washington is really not that much better than Weber State. They not much going for them. And Northern Arizona actually has a winning record. They have a better overall record than Montana State, than Idaho State at the 4 and 5 seeds. So that's definitely interesting. I'll take Northern Arizona. I think, as a season as a whole, I think they're better. They're higher. Actually, they're the 6th highest team in this conference. They're ahead of the 6th seed as well, Idaho, in Kempom, and I believe Torvik as well. They actually have a pretty solid team overall. They force a lot of turnovers. They rebound the ball very well, and they have a solid offense just outside the top 200. So I will go ahead and take Northern Arizona to go ahead and move on. And I believe they have a guy who's also averaging like 21 points a game, if I'm not mistaken. He's been amazing. So moving back to the top, though, at the top we're going to have the 1 seed in this conference, Northern Colorado. They've been a very good team all season. They're 23 and 8. They have a top 100 offense. Against Weber State, I don't think they should struggle that much. I think I'm going to go ahead and take them. They've consistently been one of the best teams in this conference all season. I think this is pretty clear. The 4-5 game, this one's interesting. From everything I've seen, Montana State has higher odds to win this conference. Everyone seems to believe Montana State is the better team here. I'm going to take Idaho State just off of the fact that Montana State doesn't rebound the ball well, and that is Idaho State is one of the best rebounding teams in the entire country, which is very interesting. Montana State just narrowly ahead of them in Torvik and Kempom, but it feels like everything that Montana State does well, Idaho State has kind of an answer for. Like Montana State, one of the best 3-point defensive teams in the country. Idaho State is one of the worst 3-point shooting teams. So, like, you get what I'm saying? They don't use the 3 very well, and they don't shoot it very well. So that doesn't really help Montana State anyways. I don't know. Montana State's a solid team, definitely. But Idaho State, I think, offensively is better than Montana State offensively. I think they set the tone. I think they get through Montana State, which, again, from everything I'm seeing, seems to be a pretty decent, pretty solid team. The 2-7 game, Northern Arizona versus Montana. I actually do really like Northern Arizona. I could kind of see them winning this game, if I'm being honest. Like I said, they're higher in Kempom than they are seeding-wise. They have a pretty solid offense. And Trent McLaughlin averaging 22 points a game, one of the highest scorers, at least average-wise, in all of Division I. But Montana's been so hot, been too consistent, at least for me. I think I'm going to take them. But again, if Trent McLaughlin has something to say about it, who knows? I mean, that dude is an absolute animal for them. But Montana is the 2nd highest team in this conference in Kempom, as well as Torvik. And I think their offense, Northern Arizona's strength is offense, but so is Montana. And Montana not being outside of the top 200, they are just outside of the top 100. So I'll take Montana here. And then Portland State versus Idaho. I like Portland State. I think they have the best defense pretty clearly in this conference. And I'm always one of those guys that in a conference that's dominated by one side of the ball, I like a team that is their strength is the other side. You get what I'm saying? So I like Portland State over Idaho. You know what you're getting with Portland State. It's a defensive team, but they're actually not too slow paced. They actually play at a pretty quick pace, which I think is interesting. But yeah, they swept Idaho in the season series. I think they win again. Back up to the top in the semifinals, Northern Colorado versus Idaho State. I like Northern Colorado here. Again, I do like Idaho State's rebounding. I think they're a solid team, but they're the fifth highest team in both KenPom and Torvik. Northern Colorado is clearly the highest in both of these metrics. Yes, they are, again, one of the best rebounding teams in the country, but so is Northern Colorado. They're actually second in the country in defensive rebounding, which that's definitely interesting. They also shoot the three well. I think Northern Colorado is the best team. The only team inside of the top 100, I believe, in anything. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and take Northern Colorado on that offense. I think it's very strong, and I think they move on to the championship game as the 1 seed. But back down in the 2 versus 3, this one I went back and forth on. I originally had one team and I switched it. Montana and Portland State. Now let's look at the matchup. This is offense versus defense right here. In Torvik, Montana is ranked 92nd in offense. In Torvik, Portland State is ranked 92nd in defense. So you really can't get much closer. And you look at the other side of the ball, Portland State's offense compared to Montana's defense, it's within like 8 points of each other. This is a very close matchup here. They split the season series as well. Portland State, you know what you're going to get from them. They split the season series with Northern Colorado, with Montana, with Idaho State, with Montana State, and they pretty much swept everyone else. They're consistent. Again, you know what you're going to get. They force turnovers a whole lot. They're physical, but they don't shoot threes very well, and their offense definitely struggles. So if Montana gets a lead in this game, which it may be hard for them to do because of Portland State's defense, I think it's going to be tough for Portland State to get back into it. If they can keep it, close where they want it to be, then I think they definitely have a chance. And I've been back and forth on this one, who I'm going to take. I ended up going with Montana for the reason that Montana wants to score. They want to outscore this team. Portland State wants to make it a low-scoring game. But Portland State plays at a faster pace. So they like to play fast. Montana's going to want to score more. So I feel like that helps Montana out a little bit. So I'll give them the edge in this one. I think it's very close, though. Could definitely go either way. And then Northern Colorado versus Montana. I really like both these teams. They're both in the top 150 in Torvik. Northern Colorado is a little bit ahead of them overall. But I think Montana right now, they split in the season series. They just won the most recent matchup. I think Montana wins this conference. They're just so hot right now. They've won 11 of their last 12 games. You look at the standings. It only say they're on like a 1-game win streak because their one loss was recent. But they've won 11 over the last 12. They've been ridiculous all season. They're 22-9, and they had a very strong non-conference, schedule. They played a lot of good teams. I think that comes back to help them here. I mean, they played Oregon, Tennessee, Utah State, South Dakota State, St. Thomas. Those are both solid teams in the Summit League. Northern Iowa's a top 3 team in the Missouri Valley. San Francisco, also a top 3 team in their conference. They played a lot of good teams. Money Williams is averaging 14 points a game. Again, another great name. I think him and this Grizzlies team get past Northern Colorado, the top dog in this conference. I think they go out and win the conference. But I could definitely see any of the top 3 seeds, in my opinion, winning this conference. Montana is very hot. Northern Colorado has probably the best offense in this country, in this conference. Portland State has the best defense. I think it could definitely go either way. I'm going to take the team that's hottest right now, 22-9 Montana, to win this conference. But let me know what you got. Comment down below who you got in this conference, who your sleepers, what's your championship game, all that. Love to talk down there. But that is going to do it for the Big Sky tournament predictions. Thank you guys so much for the support on these. I've really liked to see all the comments. We've seen some consistent people in there that love to, build a community like this. It really makes me feel like this is all worth something, if you get what I'm saying. And we're trying to hit 1,000 subs by the end of the year, so if you could help us towards that goal, that would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, we're doing all 31 conference tournaments. I think you've heard that by now. I say it pretty much every video, but I want to make sure you guys know. Check out the previous videos as well. Those will be popping up. And not only do we have college basketball content, we do college football, NFL, NBA, and MLB. So if any of that intrigues you, interests you, go down there, drop a sub, turn on the noties. But with all that being said, that is going to do it for this video. Thank you guys for watching this one.